Hello everyone, welcome back to another podcast video. I'm DTM as always, and I'm joined by a very amazing guests. First off, why don't you introduce yourself, Oblivion Knight?
Hey everyone, back again, and I'm really happy to get to discuss Chaos Season again. It was a very interesting period of time, for sure.
Oh yes, and there's just so much to cover. And yeah, super excited. We also have another friend of the channel. Why don't you introduce yourself, Joel from Phaeology?
Hello Summoners, how is everybody doing? I got so much good feedback from this mode. There was such great energy. I loved all of the additional videos we saw, all the folks using different teams, and I cannot wait to talk about this with you, DTM.
I'm so excited to talk with you all as well. And yeah, as we mentioned, we were all super excited or super nervous about Chaos Season. We did do a podcast type video on Oblivion's channel just before Chaos Season started on our predictions and whatnot. And yeah, this time we're just going to be covering the first ever season now that it's finished. And I guess we can start with the elephant in the room. IS messed up. Yeah, there was a bug in which obviously your defense team was limited to 4 units until you finish your first offense match. I do have to ask, how did it affect you? Did it impact your season? Were you able to save it in time? I guess we can start with Oblivion.
Yeah, actually, I was still awake because I don't sleep ever. So I saw someone talk about it on one of the Discords I'm in, and I was immediately just horrified, right? Because I wanted to record the very first day of Chaos Seasons to make a video out of it. Right. But I saw that and I was like, I just have to play. I have to play right now. So I did a 50 match, not a full match. And then I immediately posted it on Twitter, and I tried to get everybody's attention to tell them, just that as little people as possible could have messed over by it. But luckily for me, it didn't affect me, so I didn't get the minus 60 or minus 40.
Okay, that's good. You were able to save it in time. You didn't get hit beforehand?
No, it was about 10 minutes after I finished my match I got hit.
Oh, that's so clutch.
Yeah.
How about you, Joel? Were you affected by this bug at all?
I made it out unscathed. I got pinged very early in the morning. It was basically just go do a match right now. So I sleepily rolled over and just, did some glue eating with Rhea and got the match out of the way.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to hear that both of you weren't affected. Thankfully, I got super lucky, and even though I was asleep for that entirety of the night, I managed to somehow dodge all the matches, and so yeah, I was able to play my first match in the morning, and then like Oblivion, literally 10 minutes afterwards, I got hit. So yeah, super lucky on that as well. I do know that it did affect quite a lot of people though, which is a bit unfortunate. It took a while for IS to respond to it though, I actually think.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised by that. I expected it to be respond to immediately or the next day, but it took them a couple of days to actually say anything. And yeah, I don't know. I thought people would be more outraged, but I think less people, only the really competitive players even cared. I think everybody else was kind of whatever.
Right. And IS did respond by lowering the thresholds to get into Vault and also giving everyone max rewards. Do you all think that was the correct response, or should they have done something different in an ideal world?
So it was the by the book correct response. And by that I mean technically that let us recoup absolutely everything that would have possibly been lost. I really wanted to see them garner some goodwill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, just something yeah, I was a little disappointed by that. But again, it is technically what they needed to do. So they at least covered that.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I expected them to do. I didn't really expect them to do much else because just knowing IS, that's how they are. They haven't been really generous with orbs since the first or second year. So I didn't expect much.
Yeah, I mean, I think personally, my ideal solution would be to like void the first day of defense results, because I think, you know, rewards are nice and all, but I do know that some people do play for ranking, just to feel good about that and be satisfied about that. And obviously rewards doesn't exactly fix getting minus 60 on defense for the first day. But I do think like overall it is in general a good response. It's just super unfortunate for like the super competitive players that were affected by it. If ranking was all that mattered, like there was no recourse.
The biggest thing I saw was a mood drop. It was, I was really, really worried about it at that point, because I saw so many folks that were just really dejected about that. Because I mean, if you actually put in the time on your defense on this completely new thing, it's just such a beatdown to wake up to it being nerfed.
Yeah.
It feels like we rebounded by the end of the week, but I mean, especially for a new rollout, and let's face it, most of us knew that something wasn't quite right the week before, because the scores were so out of whack, and even if you tried to do a mock battle, you only ended up with 4 units. So there was, I was hoping that they would somehow fix that overnight, but we definitely knew that there was something that was amiss.
Yeah, I definitely.
It's like.
Oh, go ahead.
It's like you've said before, Joe. Like I think IS is really bad at rolling things out. Like, like with SDR and now Chaos Season, they just really need to like do a practice run or a couple practice runs to make sure stuff works. Because, like, you can really lose the momentum of a new game mode just by having a bad first experience.
Intelligent Systems, if you are listening, us 3 right here, we will be your beta testers. Get a hold of us. We're pretty cheap. Like, we'll work for orbs.
Oh, for real? Yeah, definitely. Joe, I thought you were gonna make an Intelligent Systems joke. Like they were.
Yeah, I thought that was. Yeah, I thought too. Yeah, like
no. Instead, I'm just trying to get more orbs. That's
truly a 300 IQ move. But no, like I'm surprised like that got through. You would think that would have like been caught by like some testing or like the bare minimum of testing, right? Like it just like I don't know. Like I work in software development, so like just that thing getting like let through without like it being caught, because it's honestly sort of simple to test. You just, you know, have a bunch of dummy accounts on various tiers and see how the rollover happens on like a different server or whatnot. Maybe like IS just doesn't have any testing or whatnot. Wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time, right? Like, remember Legendary Azura when she came out with the bug,
yeah.
and then they were just like, we'll just go with it. Like, they obviously had no idea that's how it worked.
Right. So yeah, other than the bug, overall, how did you feel your Chaos season went? Was it overall a good time, bad time? Or no time at all? We could start with
I was going to let Oblivion start because I know his story, and I was about to bring out the
I
violins.
didn't want to go first because I'm going to be a negative Nancy, so I didn't want to set the mood bad. But for me, Chaos Season was like the biggest letdown ever. Like I was so excited to finally get to do some AR content on my channel. Had all the maps prepared, my teams prepared, and then I just got completely screwed over by RNG. Like I never knew Fallen Edelgard could like destroy me that way. Like I've been destroyed by Fallen Edelgard other ways, but I've never been destroyed by like Fallen Edelgard being so bad that my maps are boring. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I can't believe I literally had 5 because I played 2 maps the first day. And then I played the normal amount of maps every other day, right? So everything except for the first day and the last day, every other map had a Fallen Edelgard in the corner. And she was just chilling there, doing nothing. Like, and then the rest of the map was just like legendary units or just like random units. And it was just like the most boring, easy matches I've probably ever played in Ether is. It was so underwhelming.
Yeah, I honestly have no idea how you got RNG that much. Like 5 Fallen Edelgards in a row. Like, what are the odds of that?
I don't know.
I really wish you would have recorded them anyway, and then given us like a montage with circus music in the background.
I actually did record them, but there's a bit of swearing in it, so I don't know if I can release it.
All the better.
You'd think by now that people will understand that Fallen Edelgard is not a good defense unit, right? Like, we have long passed the days where you could just... Like, I don't even think, like, Corner Fallen Edelgards in bonus season was all that good either. But, yeah.
For me, the problem was on some maps was that, like, I could do interesting things. Like, I could, like, Altina the whole map, right? But the problem was that I had to kill Fallen Edelgard with Brave Lucina. And, like, there was just no way for me to get it to work. Like, because she had the Mystic Boost seal. So, like, I couldn't, like, chip her. Or I couldn't, like, you know... I would have to, like, rely on a lightning trap to get the bonus kill. And I was just like, I don't want to, like, risk that.
Right.
Even though I probably could have, because I really didn't use any ladders.
Yeah, so, like, in the end, you probably just, like, Brave Hector did, I would imagine, or...
Yeah, like a couple I threw out Brave Hector and he cleared the whole map, and then some other ones I just used Yuri and he cleared the whole map, and I was like, okay, same thing as any other Astra season.
Same thing, I guess, for you. What about you, Joel? I know you've also made content about this. How was your Chaos season?
I mean, I had an absolute blast. I got to pull out some old favorites. I got to use Arden to clear stuff. I got to use Matthew, which is just... I think that was my favorite video that I created last month.
Oh yeah, the
You know what I mean?
Matthew defeating that plus 10 Hector. Brave Hector, right? Oh, that was so cool.
I lost it. I mean, that just... I mean, you guys saw like a piece of it on camera, but after that, I mean, like all caps in the Discord. They were so tired of me, I swear to God. But yeah, I mean, taking out a plus 10 Vector, that was just amazing. But I mean, I got to use Nino as well. I pulled out all the stops. I had an absolute blast. And I think that's what's fun about this, and what I kept hearing from people. The folks who had fun are the ones that went back into the vault, you know, and they pulled out their old units. I will say that this mode is definitely, this season rather, is made for folks who have been around a while. I think those are the target audience, because getting to pull out those old units is what makes this so interesting. I talked to some of the newer folks, and they had a bit more trouble grasping what was so great about it, because they don't care about Matthew. They're not invested in Gen 1 units at all.
That makes sense. Like, for me personally, one of the greatest things about Chaos Season was not having to worry about like mythic merges or anything like that, and just have a full Lucina Emblem team, for example. Like, you cannot do that in normal Ether raids, but I was able to pull it off on some of the matches, and it was just super cool, you know, to have an entire team with my favorite character just absolutely destroy everything. And so it's not necessarily even about like the bonus stats that Gen 1 units have, it's just about the variety of team options that you can potentially do. For me personally.
Definitely. I'd 100% agree with that. That is, the bonus stats are nice, but it's the fact that not everyone gets boosted by all the mythic stuff that makes it so that you can use those older units. I think the bonus stats were just something kind of to help encourage folks, which I think is good. I think it's good for them to try to get different ideas flowing through. But I mean, as wonderful as those clears were, your best clear of the week, hands down, was that Nana clear.
Oh my goodness. Like, I tried to like hide it like while I was recording, but I was so molding at the fact that I was facing a pot denial team. Like, I absolutely despise pot denial teams. Like,
I hate those so much. Ugh.
Yeah, they're so annoying. I don't know why. I know why people do it, but it's just annoying. Like, just don't do it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, it only works against players that actually care about min-maxing ether rates, right? Like, players that don't care about pots, or more casual players, will think this is literally the easiest map in the world and just like clear it no problem. And so like it shouldn't work normally, but I don't know. Whenever I run into that, I mean, I was lucky in the fact that they did like block off their Nana, so I was able to like play around that. But yeah, it was super satisfying when I was able to get all the pots and get the bonus kill with Navarre, who's absolutely amazing.
I was cheering. Seriously, it was fantastic.
Thank you. Were there any annoying defenses that you encountered besides the fallen Edelgards? Obviously, were there any?
No, not really. Like I had one loss, I believe, and it was because I forgot to unsummoner support my summer Edelgard, and so she no longer hit Wings of Mercy range. So that was kind of rough.
I saw that. That was so painful to see.
I mean, it was kind of annoying, but it really didn't matter to me too much because I had all my ladders. So I was like, okay, I'll just do a different match. But other than that, yeah, I don't think there's anything difficult. I think that was my problem, was that after that conversation we had, I like really expected to run into like a very difficult season. So I over prepared, right? I had all my strongest teams except for one. I made one fun team, which was the Altina team, and the rest were all meant to be like real teams. And so it was just kind of underwhelming when got hit by like so much like easy content. I feel like if I would have lowered my expectations and used more just fun stuff, then I probably would have had a lot better time. Like I could just use Brave Ike team, which I use Brave Ike as Galeforce unit, but like I could just use the Brave Ike tank team like I normally do, and maybe that would be a little more fun.
Yeah, like
let's talk about one of our big misses, and that was us sitting here and talking about how this was going to be the SDR of Aether Raids, and it was not. I did the same thing. I was all geared up for the hardest test I have ever been through. I was gonna be like here for an hour for each match, and it was nothing like that.
No, so absolutely not at all.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I loved that it wasn't an hour per match, because I do not miss those days. Those were hard days in Aether Raids.
Yeah,
I think it kind of comes down to like who we talk to also. Like we're kind of in a small echo chamber sometimes where we're really playing with like the more hardcore players, right? And so a lot of my friends list are like rank 1 whales or like, you know, older players. So everybody, I was looking at their defenses. I'm like, yeah, I have to play seriously. These are some real defenses. But then when I got to the actual Chaos season, like that was obviously the minority.
Yeah. And I think like that problem like is also present in like normal AR, in which like there's Vault of Heavens is actually pretty saturated, I think, because just being good on offense doesn't necessarily mean you have the best defense, right? Those are like two completely different skill sets. And so what happens is that there's like so many members in the Vault of Heavens that, you know, might not exactly be like us, right? We are in like that huge echo chamber, and, you know, most players aren't that super competitive. And so like there's not really a level of matchmaking that would like match like a highly ranked player to like a highly ranked defense, such and such. There's just a lot of saturation.
And that's one of the things I've heard that might have been a result of the glitch and the way they handled it, was that we might have seen such an easy season because, for one, the tiers weren't well sorted yet.
Right.
And for the other, people weren't really giving it their all because they didn't have to.
Yeah, that is interesting to point out.
I'm curious if that plays out.
Yeah, and it would be very interesting to see if, like, in future Chaos seasons, like, things do change. Like, maybe we will get, like, placements more sorted out, or maybe people will figure out the meta for Chaos defenses. But yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, this was not SDR by a long shot. And
thank God.
I mean, I was a bit disappointed because I was looking for some very challenging content or matches to make content out of. But I mean, thankfully, Lucina Emblem was there, but still. I mean, at the very least, I did appreciate the fact that, again, at least for me, Mythic merges obviously didn't matter at all for scoring. So I think like this was the highest I've ever gotten in Aether Raids, like ever. 125, which I never could have dreamed of even like 1 month ago before this announcement. So I do appreciate it for that.
It will definitely feel good to hit rank 1 in Chaos Season, like especially if it does get competitive. Like it will feel amazing because you'll really be able to be like, I'm one of the best players. Like you can kind of say that. I don't know about right now because obviously it's not figured out yet and not everyone's taking it seriously. But if that does happen, then it will definitely be a nice testament to your skill.
Yeah, it would have felt great to hit rank 1.
Yeah.
If I would have done something stupid
so-
like forgotten a bonus kill.
That's even more painful than my last minute defense hit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I saw that. I was watching the numbers go up, and I'm just like, okay. And then it didn't get to 1, and I was like, wait, what?
I was like, come on. I have no idea where that was, by the way, but I guarantee you it was something stupid.
Speaking of which, how did you think like requiring bonus kills impacted, I guess, the playing experience? Was it fine? Did you enjoy it, or was it just annoying? And obviously, sometimes we forget, which is really unfortunate.
I liked it. I know that's not a very popular thing to say, but I think it made teams that used bonus units like the version 1 units more powerful. That was the biggest thing. It really tried to push you into using your carry as a version 1 carry. And that was the biggest thing. I think it was more encouragement than anything else. To a lot of people, it felt like a beatdown, though. I know a lot of people really did not enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm definitely on that team. I did not enjoy it very much because of that, I didn't get to use Altina like on every map. Like if it wasn't for that, I could have Altina'd every single Fallen Edelgard team and been happy. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have minded as much. But because I had to kill that Fallen Edelgard with Brave Lucina, it was just kind of like impossible for me to use it. Which I guess, it's partly my fault, right? If I would have known it was going to be more fun, I could have used my bonus unit as the carry, and then wouldn't have been so bad. And it definitely wasn't bad when I was Galeforcing, because Brave Eye could just, kill whatever he needs to kill. It's not that big of a deal. And I don't think it'll be a problem next season, obviously, because Brave Hector's a bonus unit.
Oh, man.
That would be exciting. Yeah, like, personally for me, I wasn't exactly too bothered by it at all. Like, even though I did built up Soleil before I realized she was Gen 2 or version 2, Navarre was actually super helpful in the Galeforce teams that I was making. I actually think he's really underrated as an F2P Galeforce option. And
oh yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah, he was able to consistently get those kills, especially taking revenge on that Nana. Will always be a highlight for me. Were there any Gen 1 units that were like the MVPs or stood out to you as being particularly good this Chaos season? I know you had your Matthew, Joel, but was there anything else that you really liked?
So I'm gonna go a little different direction with your question. I think the MVPs for me were the units that weren't Gen 1 but would support them. The biggest being Ashe. I didn't see a lot of people using Ashe, which confused me because she is hands down amazing in this mode. And that really helped me get my bonus unit into position and then buff up their attack. So I like when I was using Arden, it was really just key to get everyone into the correct position to support just right. Same thing with Matthew or Nino. I mean, she was by far my MVP. Probably second to that was my Fallen Ninian, who I am quickly just falling in love with. Wow.
Fallen Ninian is phenomenal. I was using her on my Altina team, and just being able to not only dance but to ruse. She can run the panic support, and she can also like give infantry pulse. Like, people sleep on her. She's really, she's like one of the best dancers easily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree on that too. I feel like it's always the dancers that people underestimate. I know from experience.
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes for sure, yeah. Especially when if you use her with a dragon, she's even like more phenomenal, which is crazy. Because I was using her with just normal units, and she was still really good.
Yeah.
Right. And
but for me, I think Gen 1 units. I ran into an Arden, and he was pretty scary. Like no joke. when I attacked him with Altina, she was doing 3x3. So I was like, okay, this is bad. I can't kill him. But then luckily when he attacked me, like I did 50 times something. So I don't, math and Faye isn't always great.
I'm sorry. That was the one match that I was rooting for Arden over you. I apologize.
Why you gotta do it like that, Joel? Come on.
It's okay. One day, Altina will get a remix, and all of a sudden, she's gonna be the best unit in the game, and everyone's gonna be talking. Everyone's like, "I loved Altina the entire time," but I will be there with proof with my videos.
I'll just say that I cackled every time that I saw the screen fade, which meant that time had passed.
I was definitely sitting there doing some math, like, okay, let's make sure this doesn't go right.
Yeah, I was actually also trying to use Altina because I did wanted to use a Vantage team, and like Altina is basically my only Vantage unit at this point. But yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to use Altina in any of my matches, mainly because Lucina Emblem was just more fun, and also like, at least for me, Vantage Altina was my Cav-Line counter team because I didn't have any other Cav-Line counter units besides Vantage, I guess. But yeah, I was actually wondering because we did make a prediction, or I think Oblivion did, that Vantage strategies would come back in a big way in Aether's Chaos. Did you felt that was the case?
For me personally, like I didn't see there was very few maps that I couldn't Vantage and win. The problem for me was just the bonus kill. Like almost every map I saw, I could Vantage it. It was just like I didn't really see very much like wind sweep or like dance or healers or anything like that, right? So like, I felt like I could. Like I felt it was very possible. I'm sure that people who were using like Brave Marth had a great time.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Like I did like hit the Actuarius. Unfortunately, when they had only 4 units because of the bug, and so they obviously rematched me, and they brought in their like +9 Brave Marth supported by a +10 Faye and just like absolutely wrecked me, which I guess is Brave Marth's revenge for me calling him the worst CYL5 unit, but it goes sometimes.
Okay, he's not the worst CYL5 unit. That's Gatekeeper.
Yeah.
I'm getting so many hate comments.
No, don't worry. You can run Cancel Control 3 on him now. That makes him top tier.
Oh, I know, yeah. Oh, man.
So, I mean, is Vantage more powerful in this season? Yes. Do I think more people used it? No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't think so either.
It's a very underutilized thing. People don't really enjoy Vantage, which I don't understand because I love Vantage. But I will say that I don't know if you guys caught Levin's video where he used the Brave Marth, and because it was the only team that would kind of work, and I think it was a Red Feud Duo Leaf.
Oh
Red
my
Feud
gosh!
Just demolished him.
Okay. I need to see that.
Yeah,
like Red Feud, really?
that is like some Galaxy Brain strat that I didn't even think about on defense. Oh my goodness!
I still watching that. I was like, who's red that you're going up against? I don't even understand.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate, like very specific Brave Marth counter, I think.
Yeah, what are they targeting? There has to be something like specific that destroyed their team and they were mad about it, and then they put Red Feud there. Like,
no clue.
I wonder what it was.
Maybe it was Brave Marth.
No clue. But wouldn't you just use Hardy Bearing?
I guess that's true.
The thing with Hardy Bearing though, right? Like with Brave Marth, usually he's not that low on HP. Like it's because his Vantage goes off like before he even takes damage. So I feel like Hardy Bearing might not be the best counter.
Yeah, because like with Red Feud, you can just like, if I remember how this works, you ignore like all of your support partners besides Brave Marth skills, right? Is that correct? I think so.
Yeah, and then -4 to all stats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
it's very interesting.
What other unit could possibly warrant Red Feud?
I don't know. I thought I was looking at that and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
He was obviously flummoxed as well, so but yeah, that's lots of interesting stuff. Definitely.
But yeah, when it comes to Vantage, I do think it, like you said, it is way stronger in this, just because you are losing all those bonus stats, and that was a big deal for Vantage, right?
Right.
Everybody getting all those bonus stats was one of the reasons why Vantage fell out of like favor a ton, and I think the other would just be like damage reduction, right? Like damage reduction is hard to get around for a Vantage unit typically, unless they're Altina, just saying. But everybody else can kind of struggle with it.
The final nail in the coffin for Vantage was Legendary Lilina.
Oh yes.
Once she came out, like all of that other stuff was building and it was used less and less, and then Legendary Lilina came out and everyone was like, nope, all right, I'm out, done.
Yes. Although thankfully, like Vantage did come back, or at least get stronger, even though it's not as used as much in Chaos Season, which is really good. And also, like, one of the things I think that like made Vantage less used was the fact that you can just like save ball everything, and that was generally more preferable compared to Vantage. Obviously, there are some situations in normal AR where Vantage could be more beneficial than save balling, but like in most scenarios, there's not really a reason to Vantage besides save balling. Obviously, though, in Chaos Season, save balls are no longer a thing because you can only run one save unit. But honestly, there are still I still think save units are pretty powerful in Aether Chaos, despite our predictions saying that tanking was going to be dead.
Did anyone else run into someone trying to run a save ball, but they like forgot and just like removed the save skill?
No.
Did anyone else run into that? I ran into it like 3 times.
Me up. I thought that was hilarious. Oh man.
I think I ran into one, but I think they just forgot that Brave Edelgard didn't have near save, and so yeah, like everyone just died because of the 2 legendary Sigurd. So
that definitely happened to me, where it was just like you could tell they were used to playing with a save ball. They put the save unit out there, and then it just didn't have it save, and everything just died.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh.
Yeah, we have to relearn the game now. Oh no.
I will say this: people are no longer used to facing Cav-Lines. They really aren't. I didn't really have any fantastic defensor plays. My team just ran over people. It was nuts.
Yeah, mine was the same. The only thing that happened was the one loss I had was because Fjorm lived with like 2 HP. I was just like, are you serious? Like 2, it was so close. Like she almost died and their team would just been done, but like she just barely lived.
Yeah, like I don't normally think about that, but yeah, like before saves, most players like have like dedicated Cav-Line teams with like Micaiahs and whatnot. But once like save balls entered into the equation, and you can like obviously with the stacked mythic buffs, like you just have a far save, and with those mythic buffs, like they're just going to survive, especially with Ascended Fjorm who can, get through flash and whatnot. But yeah, without it, yeah, I personally never was good with Cav-Lines, so I was always fearful of whenever I potentially could run into a Cav-Line team. But yeah, I do think like Cav-Lines in general are an extremely good defense in Chaos Season. Just due to the fact that it's not affected as much to like isolation or Elimine, for example.
Well, you helped me a ton with mine. Seeing you just beat the crap out of it several times. I was like, okay, now I know what to do.
Right. Honestly,
did you guys run into any Cav-Lines when you were playing in Chaos Season?
Yeah.
I did not actually, or at least like full-blown Cav-Lines, like the one Joel or you have, Oblivion. I had like semi-Cav-Lines, but like they had like certain sections that are blocked off with where I can hide units. But like other than that, I haven't really experienced Cav-Lines, which was a bit unfortunate.
I saw that. The weird one where they like block, like the whole thing with the Cav-Line is they have a whole bunch of threat range, and I saw them like block off most of the second row so that you could just orient yourself as you chose. I was like, well, they're really not getting it, are they?
Yeah, I was a bit confused about that.
How did you handle it, Joe? Was it just like easy, like you just tanked it, or did you like try to do something else?
Well, that's the thing is since I had mine and I did so much testing for the guide before Chaos Raid started, I either Arden could handle them or actually just Fallen Rhea. I mean, yeah.
Just Fallen Rhea.
Okay.
Usually Fallen Rhea, if you oriented her correctly, you could pick and choose who hit you, and you'd be just fine. So that was, I mean, yeah. Fallen Rhea was really could clear most of the maps that I ran into.
Personally, I think I ran into 2. Yeah, I ran into 2, and the first one, both of them I could have cleared easily with Edelgard. The second one I messed up technically, but that was because of the summoner support. But I found like Galeforce was just like destroyed any Cav-Line I pretty much ran into. Like there were definitely ways to set traps to stop that, but I didn't see anyone do that other than your defense.
Yeah, like the way your defense set out the traps like is actually super annoying. Just like forego the left side and have all your traps on the right side. Like
I have you to thank.
I really shouldn't have made that showcase stream, honestly. Because like after I saw that on Joel's defenses, I took a look at some of the defenses on like my friends list, and like a lot of them updated to that new format. So I guess I have you to blame for this spread. But no, I
definitely did. 100%.
Yeah.
I love the people who apologetically come to me and they're like, hey, so I used your defense. And I'm like, I made a whole video on it. I mean, it's there for you to use. By all means, go forth, copy.
Yeah, but like other than like those trap setups, I do think that Galeforce, as we like predicted, was extremely strong in this Chaos season. I think pretty much any map I potentially could have Galeforced if I really wanted to. Did you all have fun Galeforcing on Chaos season as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was a ton of fun. Like the 2 maps I got to actually play were Galeforce maps, and it was so much fun. I love Galeforce. It's like the most satisfying kind of gameplay in AR for me. And getting to add Brave Ike was cool, but honestly, just getting to see the double Edelgards go off was pretty cool.
Oh yes. Now I'm initiating more members to the double Edelgard cult.
And I wasn't a big double Edelgard fan, but I did really love Edelgard and then pair her with Kanto units. And the weird hybrid Galeforce / hit and run plays you could make were just ridiculous. That unit, and I need to start. I was thinking about this DTM right after we did our reaction to Xander. And right now, they are releasing units that they think will be good for Chaos Raids. And so I need to adjust how I think, because if you think about Xander in the realm of Chaos Raids, he is a much better unit than I gave him credit for.
Oh really?
But Edelgard is a game changer in that mode. She is perfect. I mean, you can get her to 1 HP higher than the Hex Trap, which is just nuts. You can have 2 hits and then you can run away and then have 2 more hits and then run away again. And it just absolutely cripples whatever the opponent's trying to do.
Yeah, when I saw that video demonstration of that hit and run Summer Edelgard, like just go in with Assault Troop, kill 2 units, and then pivot away, and then have the safety fence just obviously lock all the enemies' teams down. Like that is a strategy I never even thought of for Summer Edelgard. And like I think I personally underrated Summer Edelgard because obviously like I already have like plenty of other ways to initiate with Galeforce, with like Ninjorn or Linja, but like Summer Edelgard like completely blew me away. And I mean, obviously it's hard to it's hard to be bad when you have 3 actions, right? But even then,
And
like
a brave weapon.
And a brave weapon.
But like even then, I didn't realize how good she would be until like I saw that, and yeah, I like that is the sort of creative unit design that I really just love, and yeah, I'm super excited to see what other units for Chaos Season, I guess IS brings.
I am very interested to know why you think Xander is good in Chaos Seasons, though.
That's what I want to know too, actually.
I think there's some really interesting things you can do with him. We've been talking about a miracle build that I really love, and if you support him with Ninian, you can actually run and you can probably take out 2 units just through Gale Force, and then just have him sit there. And of course, with the miracle build, he'll probably charge it up. I mean, if you do it right, he should be able to charge it up every time, right? Because they'll hit, you'll get an extra charge. You'll hit, you'll get an extra charge. It'll be back, and then you get the +7 HP. And so he just infinitely stays alive as long as he doesn't take too much damage.
Right. Or as long as he doesn't get like 1 shot. Yeah,
as long as he doesn't get 1 shot.
Or it doesn't get outsped.
Or get braved. Braved is actually the biggest thing.
Yeah, braved, yeah.
So in other words, like Catria balls aren't going to be just his kryptonite. But
or Ninjoran with
Elimine,
funnily enough.
Yeah, exactly.
With the lease.
With the lease. I can't believe I just glossed over that. That's hilarious. I wanted so badly this morning to wake up to an Elise clear of Abyssal Xander, and I saw it nowhere. I just, yeah. Come on.
I almost did the opposite. I was going to do a video with like dead Elise on the thumbnail with Xander for the summoning, and I was like, I don't know if people are going to like this or not.
You probably made the right decision. I would have loved it, but I'm not a good measure.
Lose 100 subscribers.
But anyway, looking at him through the lens of Chaos Season, I think he can do a lot of things similar to Edelgard. So he's a really interesting unit in that vein.
Yeah, I think I could sort of see it. I mean, obviously, if you run the Miracle build, he can't exactly Gale Force, if I'm thinking the same as what you were thinking, but I guess it is interesting.
That is true. He can't run both Miracle and Gale Force, so he'd only take out 1 unit. But you guys get my meaning, though.
Right.
Oh. What about Miracle Summer Edelgard? I wonder how that would work.
Oh, God.
That's a build idea I've heard. I've never seen it yet, though. But I guess the jury's still out on that.
I mean, you don't see it because she doesn't need it.
I guess that's true.
That's the thing.
That's true.
Why? I could survive, or I could just kill you.
I mean,
that's a good point, actually.
I'm trying to think of some way where you could use Far Save too, like a Far Save Miracle build or something. I don't know if that's possible, because then she probably won't be able to get in, but that'd be really cool. Like, you go in, kill 2 things, other people come in, kill some stuff, and then she just Far Saves for them, and she can't die because of Miracle. That would be cool. I don't know if it's possible.
She has so much potential. It is ridiculous.
Yes.
I saw in a hardy fighter Sacred Cow, I guess Aegis build that was just phenomenal as well. I mean, whatever you want to do with her, she's there for it.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to running into the whales with +10 versions in SDR.
No,
it's not gonna be fun.
Not at all. That's okay. No. Dimitri will take care of her.
Will he though?
Yes, he will.
Legendary.
I guess legendary. Sure, yeah. I was thinking summer, and I was like, maybe.
Oh no, not summer. Legendary.
Okay. Okay. I guess I'm more optimistic about that than you are, but yeah. Obviously, Summer Edelgard honestly was super good. Were there any other units that surprised you about how good they were in Chaos Season in particular, where as before they might have been fallen off or something like that?
I saw a couple people using a Vantage Laszlo build, and it was pretty good actually. I saw a few clears with that. So I know Laszlo actually has a pretty good weapon refine, but the only person I know who uses him is the Shadow. So getting to see some other people use him was actually pretty cool.
Oh yeah, he has a Brave effect as part of his refine, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see Vantage last a little bit being super strong for that. And especially with those Gen 1 bonus stats too.
Right. Yeah.
The thing that I
I'm not
loved,
really sure.
the thing that I loved the most was seeing offensive mythics used on defense and defensive mythics used on offense.
Yes.
That was really fun for me to watch. Ashe on defense, again, I've talked about how great she was on offense, but on defense she's really interesting too. Lord, what other examples? I'm blanking completely. I saw some folks who were talking about using Hell, but I never actually saw it come to fruition.
That's like
I saw that. It was very annoying.
yeah, you'd basically
like
just use Hell as like a frontline and protect her with a far save, and that basically protects her from all the magic damage. So she always has her miracle, right? Unless they outspeed, of course. But
yeah, that was pretty much what I saw. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been super annoying to face, or at least see on the replays for sure.
Yeah.
A surprising unit that got a bump was Legendary Myr. So many teams depended on warping. And so if Legendary Myr was your anchor, your melee anchor, it just shut down things. It was really kind of incredible.
You're talking about Myr on offense, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh well, actually, I saw it on both. Maury in our server used her on defense as well, and she's actually you don't realize how much you use warping on offense. Even if you don't use Ashe, there's some kind of either guidance or Peony has an effect or something that you're used to using that you don't even realize it. And then Gatekeeper or Myr shows up and you're like, well, crap. there goes my entire strategy. Why can't I move there? Come on.
Yeah, and the cool thing is Myr actually kills things. So
yeah.
It's super nice.
Myr actually survives things too, actually.
Wow. The amount of Gatekeeper salt is just astounding over there.
I will never forgive him for like beating out Crom, okay? Like even though Crom now has his Brave unit this year, I'll never forgive him personally. I know me saying that will just make a lot of people angry, but like I'm sorry.
I'm imagining DTM in therapy right now on the couch. I can't believe Gatekeeper did it. The guy's like handing him a box of tissues.
Gosh. For me, it wasn't so much that he beat Crom, because like I really didn't have a horse in that race that year. It was just like he came out and people were just like, he's the best unit ever, and I'm just like, where? I don't see it. Like, how does everyone see something I don't see? And so like being proven correct over time has felt really good. Like I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I always thought he had potential, but unfortunately that potential never really panned out anywhere, unfortunately. So
I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry, but that has to do with every CYL unit that isn't named Brave Erica from this last year.
No.
Okay.
No. I was about to say that too. Brave Marianne was MVP, and even Phoenix Master made a video on her. So you're wrong, Joel.
Yes, you are wrong. Brave Marianne, I still consider the best out of the CYL5 if you're not considering a Summoner's Duels, which I do admit is a caveat, but still, I stand by that.
I say second.
Yeah,
best.
second best.
I think Brave Erica is the best, and then Brave Marianne.
Mm-hmm. Brave Erica was my worst call of last year, hands down.
Did you say she was bad?
Wait.
No. I didn't say she was bad, but I thought she was going to be another Brave Lysithea.
Okay.
Which, I mean, Brave Lysithea is fantastic. She does one thing and she does it well. She kills stuff, right? I mean, that's
most of the time.
thing. You know exactly what Brave Lysithea is. And I thought Brave Erica was going to be exactly that. And then, I mean, she was already very good on defense, and then Summoner Duels happened, and my argument just fell apart like a house of cards when my kid runs into it.
Yeah, we have like 2 Brave Marianne stands right here against Joel.
Yeah, I saw Brave Erica, and I saw that she was dressed as Ephraim, and I was like, oh, Ephraim Dev just made another Brave Ephraim. Like, I see what happened here.
Right. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, when it comes to like the CYL5 units, I do definitely think that Gatekeeper and Brave Marth are generally not as good as like Marianne and Erica. Like, I know Brave Marianne got a lot of flack for reasons that I don't agree with personally, like her gravity effect or the fact that her special doesn't do damage, which is a complaint against her and not on Gale Force for whatever reason, but okay. But yeah, I think, at least for me, a lot of people underestimate the flexibility that she can provide. And especially now with Chaos Season, you know, she's not a dancer. So you can also use her on Chaos Season with another dancer and just have even more actions, particularly for Gale Force. And yeah, that's just me on a tangent, I guess, of that.
I mean, the one thing I would say is like a lot of people don't look at her in context, right? They just see her as like, they just judge her as a unit and like, oh, she doesn't have the damage and stuff. It's like, but where you're going to be using her most of the time is Gale Force. And in Gale Force, like, there's always going to be a target you can kill with Brave Marianne, no matter what. And a lot of times it's a target that's difficult to kill.
I have utterly derailed us. I am so sorry. Let's
No worries.
Can't bring up Brave Marianne in any podcast ever.
Anyways, I guess to try to re-rail ourselves back into this conversation. Speaking of, like, I know, like, Oblivion, you didn't have, like, the best experience with Chaos Season just due to RNG. Were there any other, like, structural issues about Chaos Season that you think could potentially be improved?
Oh, man. I don't know if there's anything structural. Like, I didn't like the bonus kills. Like, that was pretty much it. It felt like another pot to me. And I already hate pots. So, like, having another pot was just like, ugh. But other than that, there was really nothing else, right? Like, it just felt like kind of, it didn't really feel like old Ether Raids either. I guess that was something I was kind of hoping, like, it would feel, I don't know if hoping is the right word, actually, now that I think about it. Because old Ether Raids was pretty scary. But that's what I expected it to feel like. And it didn't really feel like that at all.
Do you have any thoughts on that, Joel? And, like, any issues you think about Chaos Season that you think could be improved on?
I talked about this before, but I'm a little worried as they go up in the versions that it's not going to be as fun.
Right.
I had a guy named Asher in my comments talk about how he wanted to see, instead of versions, they would start going to weird things like you have to get a kill with a unit with a staff or something like that. I guess essentially extra challenges or switching of the bonus units to some other category. I mean, like if you have to get a bonus kill with a 3 houses unit, which obviously would be incredibly easy. Yeah. But stuff like that.
That's actually very interesting. I think that could potentially be super cool if implemented correctly. But I don't think IS has signified like that sort of uniqueness yet. Though it is interesting
Not yet.
about it.
But I could see them doing by games, like for sure.
I mean, for me, I just hope that IS makes this like a regular rotating season. Like right now, it takes the place of Light Season, at least last week, and we're back on Astra Season again. And that just to me signals that it's going to be treated as like a special event where we have no idea when the next one is. Instead of just being like a third season, like we go from Light Astra to Chaos, Light Astra, Chaos. And that's what I thought they were going to do with Chaos Season, having that as part of the rotation. But for whatever reason, they did not do that, which I think is a big shame, to be perfectly honest.
The other thing that I really don't like, and I mean, this is first world problems, but I have personally invested a ton of like game capital into Mythics.
Okay.
And this is another signal that they're devaluing Mythics in general.
True.
They already did it with the dual skills and making sure that they got a lower ceiling when you're using the dual skills than other units. And now it looks like they're going to do this by having this Chaos Season. And suddenly my Mythics are worth even less. So my peony that I worked so hard to get is now not worth quite as much.
Yeah, as a whale, I can agree with you.
As a mostly FTP player, I cannot relate at all. But yeah, like it is a tricky balancing situation for IS, right? Because like on one hand, you quote unquote do make it a lot more fair to players that might not have that resources to like fully invest in units. But on the other hand, like people want their investments to last a long time. And if like obviously this chaos season sort of devalued that a little, although I will say obviously mythic merges are still very very present in normal AR, and so at least we have that when it comes to investment.
Yeah.
Speaking of mythics, go ahead.
At one point, mythics were the most valuable units you could invest in. Because when you invested in a mythic, it was a unit that you could use on Aether Raids for score, and you could also use it in Arena for score. And that made them, the fact that you could use them in 2 places was just incredibly valuable. You got a lot for your orb.
Right.
So I hate to see that go away.
Yeah, like I remember like my advice when it comes to like summoning on things was always to just prioritize like legendary or mythic hero banners with a really good offense mythic share. Like I think Plumeria, Reagan, and Lilina. The one we had back then was like super good value, and obviously we had more along the way. And obviously that still applies because we still have normal AR, but it does make me wonder like if IS continues to go into that direction, whether or not that advice would still apply in the future.
And we joke about it for whales, but there's another issue for folks who are just savers and want to get the most out of their orb. If they're dividing these and you have to have separate units for separate modes, it makes the game a lot more expensive from a capital standpoint.
True.
Okay, speaking of mythics, there's something I want to talk about that we got right, and that is that Elimine and Milla were amazing in Chaos Season. Like, Elimine is probably the best unit in Chaos Season to have, and Milla's really she's pretty close, but Elimine's definitely the standout in my opinion.
Yeah, like so many things just get shut down by Elimine. Like especially now that you don't have to worry about Mirabilis giving res buffs to Katria. Like obviously that Katria balls I think are pretty much dead in Chaos Seasons. Unless like you don't have anything else.
I mean, you say that. I saw the most wailed out Katria ball ever. Like it was all Gen 6 units at +10. It demolished me. Demolish is a strong word. I was 2 HP short, I guess 2 attack points short of taking an Eldigan out with my Edelgard, and if that would have gone through, then I could have won. But it's So if you invest very, very heavily in Katria balls, you can still get them to work. But I mean, I'm picking at straws here. You're right. Most people are not going to want to build a Katria ball.
Yeah, and like it's not even just that Elimine shuts down. Like obviously she can shut down legendary Sigurd because you can like shut down that quick impulse or his like extra movement that he gets. And yeah, honestly, like it's honestly insane how much impact Elimine has on like various unit skills.
And I'm totally gonna call him out right here. Is Elimine Tacho's worst call of the year? He was like, don't get this unit, it's no good, just skip this one.
I don't think he didn't say quite that, but he was like saying like you don't really need her in Astra season, which like I get it, like it was already really easy. Right. But, you know, I saw the potential of how good she was. I didn't obviously know Chaos Season was there, but I was like, man, this unit's just stupid. Like, she just shuts down everything. And especially one unit who has taken over the year, in my opinion, probably the best unit that's come out this year in total is, Duo Crom, right? And she can just shut him down so hard. She's just like, no time spells, no quick impulse. You're not getting that Deadeye off. And when he doesn't have Deadeye, like, there's a lot of ways to tank him.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like in Astra season, I basically have to run like 2 infantry pulse units with the dual Crom just to make sure that his Deadeye gets procced, which normally works unless they run 2 Elimines for whatever reason, which would have been super evil. But anyways,
most people don't though. Most people don't run 2.
I haven't seen a single instance of that yet, but I do know there are those people that exist, and I always see
I always see these poor people who plan out defenses and they get so stuck on corner cases. They're like, but I have to make my defense resistant to anyone running 2 Elimines. And I'm like, oh, honey, no. That's
Yeah.
let that one go. You're gonna.
Right.
There's some people who are just gonna beat you. That's you've got to let that one go.
Yeah. No defense team is unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah. And
Unfortunately.
I will. Elimine is obviously a super strong unit. Unfortunately, I don't have Elimine, but thankfully, like at least from what we've seen, like you don't exactly need Elimine to succeed in Aether Raid's Chaos. That might change in the future, but I doubt it personally. But like if you do have her, I think like that's just playing on easy mode, to be perfectly honest.
And to be clear, if you want to plonk, if you want to tank with your far save unit, Elimine is a must-have. If you're a Galeforcer, then Elimine is okay. I mean that's a strategy that just it requires Elimine.
Bar save
Yeah, she's
tanking
just-
on Chaos Season, you would say?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think you can use a far save tank in Chaos Season without Elimine.
And it definitely helped me. Whenever I used Brave Factor, it was just like, it made it really easy. I was just, okay, I'm going to turn off all this. And then like next turn, I'll turn off this. And then they just died.
And I say that except for my Vantage Arden. Vantage Arden did not need Elimine.
Yeah.
That's obviously that is not a unit you're going to run into a whole lot.
Right.
Yeah.
But speaking of other mythics, Midla, like just turning off the Dancer was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Medeus was really good on defense just because there's no turn 1 traps pretty much. Like you can technically run like a restore trap, obviously,
Right.
but I didn't really see that. And the dance trap, which was really common and then it's kind of died off, but it's still present in the meta. It just isn't available here. So having Medeus turn off all those bolt towers is really good, and Canto control, of course.
Oh yeah. I absolutely. Medeus is like my enemy number 1 because I heavily rely on bolt towers when I clears. I mean, I knew like IS was going to like try to circumvent or like add counterplay to bolt towers. I didn't think that meant shutting it down completely. Yeah, like Medeus is super tanky, especially with that Canto control too. Just makes Ninjoran forcing very difficult. Thankfully, like there are ways to potentially circumvent that, but yeah, Medeus is like probably one of the best units you can have on defense, I think, like just from a generic standpoint with Mythics.
DTM, you realize IS is watching your videos. Look at all of the things they are toying with you. Like they're like, okay, we're gonna completely take away Bolt Trap, but we're gonna make this mode where Gale Force is perfect. And they, and now we're gonna give you a new Edelgard. And yeah, they're toying with you. Apparently,
I guess. Like they always want to reward me, but not reward me too much.
They're completely ignoring me. Where's my Sharena ult?
Yeah. I mean, if they...
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah. I'm still surprised we haven't gotten a Sharena ult, to be perfectly honest. Like, New Year's Alphonse does not count. Like, we need a proper Sharena ult.
Spring Sharena was a long time ago.
Very long time ago. And I don't think she's getting one this year because like she's like not even in the story really.
I mean, there's a potential she could get like a season ult, like Summer Sharena potentially in this upcoming banner.
It might be.
Maybe.
I have orbs.
I think we're getting like a Thor. I think we're gonna get like a Thor wearing like a bikini or something. And everyone's gonna freak out. That's what I think we're gonna get.
Oh
like
my
Freya
God,
last
you
year.
are so right.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't think about that. God, this is so off topic again, but I watch one of the folks I watch is Manic and Sprinkles and Manic. They do reaction videos, and one of them on there talked about an Otter Note duo, and I was like, yes. Like Otter can be riding in on her shoulders, and I'm like, I want to see this so bad.
Oh no. That means more Pathfinder though, like more blessable Pathfinder. Oh gosh.
I mean, I would be fine with that too. To be perfectly honest, bring in the chaos.
Oh, dude, we do get another Thor, and she gets Worldbreaker. Like, that's gonna be really good if you can bless that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh
Like,
my gosh.
You can actually use like Thor Force outside of Chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So yeah, I guess.
So
Oh, go
should
ahead.
we get back to Chaos Season real quick? So the one thing I would do about Chaos Season, like it's not doesn't actually have to do with the season itself, was I don't know why Intelligent Systems chose to do Chaos Season, SDS, and 3 Hopes in all the same week. I am not very happy with them for doing that.
Yeah, it was so busy.
Why? The thing that really made it frustrating wasn't that clump of things. It was the fact that they skipped the SDR season before.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do it there and not this week? Like, this is the week to skip. And they just, instead they just piled on. And it wasn't just that. Like, it was what we had: Tempest Trials, we had Holoforms, we had SDS, Chaos Raids. What else? I mean, there was a ton of stuff. I got overwhelmed. It was a lot.
Same.
3 Hopes on top of that. And then Monster Hunter shortly after. I mean, that's,
yeah. For me, it was just like I had to decide what I wanted to focus on, and I thought Chaos Season was the correct choice. So I focused on Chaos Season, and I kind of put SDS to the side. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And then Chaos Season ended up being kind of a joke, and SDS was not a joke. And so, unfortunately, I didn't hit rank 1 because of that. And the worst part for me, though, was like playing SDS and just wanting to play 3 Hopes. Like, I just had 3 Hopes right there, right next to me the whole time. And I'm like just forcing myself to play SDS instead of playing 3 Hopes.
Yeah, like I did not prepare like at all for SDS. Like I sort of like just gave that up and focused on Chaos Raids like you did. Thankfully, my experience went a little bit better. But like Chaos, like SDS, like was a complete disaster, to be perfectly honest, for my run. I don't know why they piled on so many things. Like it's not even that like SDS is more played than SDR. At least to my understanding, like SDR actually is more popular than SDS, probably because like it's a lot easier to get into.
It has more participation, definitely.
Right. And like so like it makes no sense to skip SDR at the time while leaving SDS at this time.
Guys, but you didn't have nearly the beatdown that I did. Here's my whining thing here, is watching Tacho's daily video when he goes back and looks at the ranks for SDS and is like, all right, you guys know this is bad because Phaeology definitely could have made rank 1, and they obviously didn't care about the mode anymore. I was like, oh, that hurts my soul a little bit.
I saw that and I started laughing really hard.
I was like,
called out. Wow.
I was in the Discord. I was like, guys, this is canon now. It's not that I sucked this last season. It was just that I didn't care.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was brutal for me. I literally was on the final game, and if I would have won, I would hit rank 1. And if I lose, I didn't get rank 1. And obviously I lost, so it felt terrible. Like, because considering the other SDS seasons, I either went like at a perfect run or I lost like maybe 1 match, and then this one I lost 4. So it felt terrible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did a terrible job preparing for this one.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was really prepared for all of this. But yeah, I guess to wrap it up, because we are like 1 hour into our conversation, but this has been super fun as always. I guess our final topic, bringing it back to Chaos Season. What do you think how future Chaos Seasons will be? How do you think like the meta will develop? Any potential new units that could potentially make an impact? I guess what are your general thoughts on the future of this mode? I guess we can start with Phaeology. Joel, if you have anything to say.
All right. God, I think the biggest developments are going to be on defense, because I think defense really drives AR. It's if you think about any of the defensive mythics, when they come out, they're the ones who shape the meta. Offense is usually always molding around what the defense does. And I think looking at this, the two things that were the biggest drivers in this were Pathfinder offenses and Cav-Lines. I think those are going to continue to increase in value. And to compensate for those, I think we're going to still see a lot of I think we're going to see an increase in tanking even more, which is crazy because I think it was already very popular. And I think folks are going to start to get into units like the hit and run Gale Force tactics that you can use with Edelgard, or which you can now use with Xander. So those are the two things I think are their stock went up this last week. We'll have to see as more people get into it and they put more thought in. But the biggest thing, my biggest takeaway, is that I didn't feel like this was something stale where we had just Catria balls and that was what you had. That's what you knew you were going to face, what at like 90% of your matches. So things were different, and I think that's going to continue unless Oblivion, you jinxed us. And they make Chaos Mythics, which I will be I'll be so mad at you.
I mean,
obviously it'll be all your fault.
I'll be mad at myself unless it's Nurgle. If it's Nurgle, I'll take it for I'll be happy. I don't care. I just want him in the game.
I mean,
that's my take on. Go ahead.
I mean, if they bring Chaos Mythics, I don't know what they would be doing at that point, because it felt like Chaos Season was supposed to break away from like Mythics and add like more variety. I think the only way like having Chaos Mythics would be potentially good would be only having them like grant like the extra slot and still have no effect on things like scoring or mythic buffs. I think that is the most likely way IS could add Chaos Mythics, but I'm still not a big fan of Chaos Mythics.
Even that would be such a huge advantage. I don't want to see him.
I don't want to see it. Yeah, I don't want to see it at all.
Yeah.
So when it comes to my thoughts, I guess, of what we're going to see, unfortunately, because of the bug we had on that first day, I think the next Chaos Season isn't going to be any different than the one we had this week. Everybody who didn't care about Chaos Season is still going to be in Vault of Heaven because of how it works, right? Like, it's not going to be based off the season before like it was this time. It's going to be based off the last Chaos Season. So everybody and their brother is going to be in there. I think a majority of people do not care enough, so their defenses are going to stay the same. And the next week will probably be just like a relaxed, same thing we had this time. Now, after that, it's possible that some of the more relaxed people who do not care get knocked out of Vault of Heaven. They can't.
I'm going to interrupt you just a second there. The other reason that really pins home your point is that Hector is a bonus unit.
Oh, yes.
Like that's
good old Hector. But that's why I think it's going to happen. Yeah, I think that the week after that, maybe enough people get knocked out that maybe Chaos Season becomes a bit more hardcore, maybe. But I could see it not happening as well, because I feel like the thing is that one of the things we didn't really consider when it comes to Chaos Season is the variables outside of Chaos Season. And I think just people are kind of burnt out on hardcore game modes. They're just burnt out. They don't want to put in the effort anymore. And so I think that might be what happens with Chaos Season. Maybe people just play it very casually and don't care.
Right. Yeah, and it would be interesting to see like if these first 2 weeks of Chaos Season are just due to the anomaly caused by the bug, or if it's just going to be a present feature just due to the saturation. But yeah, I am looking forward to the future of Chaos Seasons as well. Just because of the variety it brought. I do think in general it was a good change, and I loved seeing like all the, because like Joel mentioned, it was not Catria balls versus save balls. It was something new, and for that I definitely do appreciate it as well.
Also, one last thing I want to say is I'm not sure about this, but the scoring for Chaos Season, right? You get 440 per double match, right?
Right.
So I think it's pretty easy to actually stay in Vault of Heaven, even if you don't take your defense seriously.
Oh, it is
like you probably won't
easy.
get high rankings, but it's pretty easy to stay in there. So maybe people won't even drop out. You know what I mean? Like maybe people will just chill,
True.
And there will always just be those people at the bottom just chilling.
So to my knowledge,
I had so much whale guilt. Like when people were talking about how easy it was to get in, I'm like, well, this is kind of my every week because I have all those mythic merges.
well, I'm right there with you, Joel.
So like normally, I think you have roughly 240 lift buffer to maintain vault, assuming no mythic merges on like normal ether rates seasons. In chaos season, because everyone scores max, I think you have like 720 lift buffer to stay in the vault of heavens. Like,
I take back everything I said.
I mean, this is assuming you play perfect offense, right?
Right.
Meaning you get all the pots, or the pots that you need. You get the bonus kill. And you have like the bonus unit, which hopefully most people do, since it is a lot bigger now, the pool that you can pull from. But yeah, like if you do perfect offense, like there's no scenario where you lose out, you drop due to defense, because what is the max defense loss? -60, right? So it might literally be impossible to drop out unless you don't play, essentially. So
the big question is it possible to get there with auto dispatch?
Oh gosh. Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
I forgot about that.
Which it may or may not be. I haven't done the math on that.
Like I genuinely do think, at least for chaos season, anyone that actually cares should be able to make vaults like absolutely no problem. And I personally think that was true like even before chaos season, since getting into vault you only had to make like what, tier 27, right? Tier 27, which is fairly easy to get even without mythic merges. But like in chaos season, obviously everyone scores max, so that might happen to a more extreme degree, which unfortunately doesn't bode well for the sort of interesting defense maps that you can make content out of. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes out in the future.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting for a different reason. I mean, stupid stuff like Lucina Emblem, and I mean, even Altina can be good.
She's always good.
True.
And I mean, Matthew has no right being a carry. I mean, that unit is old.
For anyone who's interested in Altina content, go check out 1000 and you will see just how good Altina really is.
Oh yes, I was a convert to the Vantage Altina with Winter Burning thanks to those streams, honestly.
It's very good. Like, it's a very fun stream. The last thing I wanted to bring up though is that I didn't know that Chaos Season didn't have thrones. I thought it had thrones. It does not.
It will never have thrones?
I don't know if it doesn't. I don't know about ever, but it doesn't right now. So
yeah,
that's a bit interesting to me, because I do think that like that's kind of like the prestige badge, right? Like, look at how many thrones I have. So I wonder if they do add like a chaos, I don't know, a crown or chaos something, just to make it so that maybe those people like try to flex for it.
I'd be all about that. I think that would be a good addition.
Same. Like, I'm surprised they didn't have thrones to begin with, but hopefully that just means that we have like a sort of special reward, like on this separate ladder. But yeah.
Or it means something worse, and they knew about the bug beforehand and just didn't fix it.
I hope not.
Let's hope that wasn't the case. Let's hope that wasn't the case.
Yeah, let's hope not. That's like the worst timeline. But yeah, that brings us to about 1 hour and 20 minutes. It was obviously a super fun discussion. And yeah, it was super great doing this retrospective on Chaos Season with all of you, Oblivion and Joel. Really thankful that y'all joined us again and doing this again after we did our initial podcast video. And yeah, are there any final quick thoughts before we end the video?
Altina's the best mythic, just saying. I'm calling it now.
Okay.
When she comes around January, I have it on tape.
That is some serious copium for a good Altina remix.
Vote Sharena in CYL. Remember, I don't even care if she wins. Just the higher she ranks, the more likely I am to get an alt.
Yeah, I'll do that just for you, Joel. Just for you.
Thank you.
But yeah, thank you all so much for joining. And as always, if you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that jazz, to not only my channel, but to Oblivion and Joel's channel as well. The links will be in the description down below, as well as our previous video before Chaos Season actually began. Really appreciate all the support. And yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed. Let us know down in the comments how your Aether Chaos Seasons went and what you think of the new mode. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Take care, guys.